Okay, when are they right? When are these numbers right?
Honestly, it'd just be better to be in debt and alone than have to listen to his nagging and nagging all the time.
The truth is not going to be pretty.
Oh my gosh, we look crazy.
That's what brought me here.
Money, 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 money.
My name's Stephanie, I'm 28, and I'm in marketing.
My name is Malcolm, I'm 31, and I'm an IT administrator. Ouch.
Malcolm and I are complete polar opposites when it comes to money and how we think about money.
I'm a rather obsessive, detailed planner. Before I married Stephanie, I always had much more money than I ever spent. Stephanie's very persuasive, and I would rather just kind of say yes and go along.
Okay, Malcolm thinks that I have these womanly powers that get him to buy stuff. He was the one that said, we can get a laptop for do not pay for a year. And we thought for sure we'd have the money at the end of that year, but we didn't.
Things sort of spiraled at some point. We bought the house, we decided to build a fence because Stephanie wanted a dog. We got another dog, we got interested in dog activities. We went fairly quickly from little debt to where we are now.
Have no children, don't plan on ever having children, but we have 2 cats and 2 dogs, and they are our children.
This is our dog treat cupboard. We have rabbit furs for motivational toys, rawhide sticks, pig rinds, treat balls that we put treats in.
Everything from what they eat to what we eat is absolutely parallel, so we want their foods to be as good as the foods we're eating.
Oh, those July numbers aren't right. I haven't updated those yet. Malcolm wanted to have weekly budget meetings.
Okay, when are they right? When are these numbers right? That goes badly. Stephanie has been managing our money, and she thinks it's an intrusion to her domain.
I can't handle nagging about money.
You're the one who wanted me to add all that stuff to the spreadsheet, so I don't know why I need to explain it to you all the time.
Sometimes when Malcolm really starts irritating me, I tell him I'm going to divorce him and leave him.
It's a source of conflict and unpleasantness. But I would never come to a point and say, if we don't do this, that's it, we're through.
Honestly, it'd just be better to be in debt and alone than have to listen to his nagging and nagging all the time.
This month, I'll help this couple move from red to black. I've been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt, which is still a huge mystery for most folks. And it's the #1 reason couples split up. So now I'm making house calls. Stephanie and Malcolm shouldn't have any debt. Even with a healthy income and no kids, they've found a way to spend more than they make. Could this be my first case of till dogs do us part? Hi, Gail Vaz-Oxlade.
Hi, Gail. I'm Stephanie.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Malcolm.
Nice to meet you, Malcolm. If you don't mind, what I'd like to do is just drop my bag and have a quick look around. You have a living room that's divided in 2. You have the people side of the room and you have the dog side of the room. What's down in these cupboards?
Dog stuff.
Ha! Oh my God, Stephanie!
The mother load.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frisbees, because you don't want to have to walk and pick them up. Other people have canisters of people food on their kitchen counters. You know, it's not even like you have a lot of fancy stuff.
No, we're not fancy people. I don't think that we're totally off the deep end, but I think to the average person out there, we probably look a little insane.
She pushes you around a lot, Malcolm.
A little bit.
And it's Steffi's way or the highway.
Pretty much.
There's a little more of Stephanie convincing me than me convincing Stephanie. But that's okay with me.
If he doesn't like conflict and you're running away, how do you ever get anything resolved?
I think we need help to build a budget that we agree on.
And have a plan for the future.
Agree on a budget and a plan for the future. That just sounds like a job for me. Last March, you spent $440 in fast food restaurants and $271 on diet supplements. Cut out the fast food restaurants and the diet supplements, not only would you break even on the calories, you'd probably be better off financially.
Still lost weight.
Here come the big numbers. You add in groceries and booze, and you're putting $1,100 a month into your mouth.
Wow.
Wow.
When you add in all the other stuff you're spending on, things like family and gifts or your discount department store, then there's a house cleaning
That's Malcolm's expense.
and cash, which isn't bad. You have it all the way up to $3,000 a month. Half your money's gone and you haven't paid the mortgage, paid for transportation, no debt repayment, and no savings. But wait!
Holy crap, you kidding me?
Oh, that's not.
Dog dementia. You're spending $1,300 a month on the pooches.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh, we look crazy.
That's what brought me here. So now we're up to $4,300, which represents 67% of your income. And we haven't paid the mortgage, and we haven't done transportation, and we haven't done debt repayment, and we haven't done savings. Between dog activities, pet insurance, and human-grade organic food, Stephanie and Malcolm are spending more on the dogs than they are on their mortgage. It's actually not that funny, because you're spending more than $5,000 a month more than you make.
Wow.
And if you keep it up, you're going to be over $750,000 in debt in 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's got to stop.
Yep.
Now, I can get you out of this, but you have to promise me you will do anything I say over the next few weeks. Promise.
I will.
Yep.
You're sure?
Positive.
Doesn't matter how embarrassing?
No, we can do it.
Okay. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to give you a series of challenges to do. You do the challenges, I'll give you up to $5,000 to help you pay down this debt. Don't do the challenges, you don't get the money. So they'll get me your credit cards and your debit cards. The spending is over. Coming up, Stephanie and Malcolm bite back.
I was made to look like the debt was all my fault.
I don't think it told the truth about our relationship.
There's no question in my mind that you are the alpha dog of this family.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Stephanie and Malcolm's money is going to the dogs. $1,300 a month on the pooches.
Every toy under the sun, every chew toy they could ever want.
We have collars that glow in the dark at night, booties for the winter so they don't get stuff in their paws.
$131.58.
All these doggy indulgences add up. 67% of your income gone. And we haven't paid the mortgage, and we haven't done transportation, and we haven't done debt repayment, and we haven't done savings. With priorities this out of whack, they're going to have to live by a new set of rules to get back on track. For the next month, this couple will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars. No changes, no money. Right now, you're spending about $5,700 a month on your variable expenses. I'm going to cut your budget by 78%. You're going to have $100 a week for food. You're going to have $100 for transportation, $50 for entertainment. You're going to have $25 a week for clothing and gifts, $35 a week for other, including the dogs. In fact, I'm cutting your doggy budget from the ridiculous $1,300 a month to $70 a month.
Okay. With a loss of money comes a loss of privileges and things that I really enjoy and work for.
I was thinking, wow, how the heck are we going to live for the next month?
Because you're living on cash, you have to write it down. If you don't write it down, it'll get lost. Which brings me to your challenge of this week, which is your life lesson challenge. Malcolm, you're going to take over the money management in this family.
Okay.
You are going to learn to say no.
Okay.
Okay, Steffi, because you think dogs are all about play and purchasing, I'm sending you to a doggy daycare where you will be cleaning up after other people's precious pooches.
Not very happy about having to clean up dog shit. I have to clean up dog shit on a regular basis at my own house. I'm the only one who picks up the dog shit in the backyard, as it is.
Turns out Malcolm wasn't very happy with what I had to say either. In fact, they were so upset they refused to continue doing the show before Stephanie had done her challenge.
We really believed that what was being portrayed in terms of our relationship and how we got into debt was really, really far off.
And it was made to look that I forced Malcolm into debt when he enjoyed getting there just as much as I enjoyed getting there.
They took a week off to think about it before deciding that they would actually benefit from my help. But that left me wondering just how committed they were to this process. You guys were really ticked last week.
Yep.
Yeah, dropped out. What happened?
You know, I don't think any one person in any marriage can drive you down the hole.
I wasn't upset about the numbers. I was more upset about how our relationship was portrayed and how everything was blamed on me. And
Well, there's no question in my mind that you are the alpha dog of this family. But here's the thing. The fact that you are making Stephanie be accountable to you because you don't know where the money is going means you also recognize that there was a problem. So we're not saying things any different. And basically what we're saying is what's happening right now isn't working and we have to change it.
I think she probably does understand us a bit better. I would have liked if Gail had come in and talked to us before the shooting started and gone over things before the cameras were all of a sudden right there.
In light of recognizing that your circumstances could change very easily, what I want you to do this week is I want you to go and work with some people whose circumstances have changed and help them so you can see what it could look like.
Wesley Center is a 24-hour emergency services drop-in for men and for women. So today we're going to have you helping in our kitchen.
First up, washing dishes. But Stephanie makes even the simplest task a chore.
Washing dishes isn't easy for everybody.
It is easy for everybody.
No. It's not. If you don't have dishes to wash, then it's not easy.
Next, serving meals.
The area for where the soup kitchen is a little sketchy. At night, it would probably be downright scary, but it was a good experience. There were really great people there, better people than us who volunteer there every week.
I think it was good as a reminder that we do really have it good.
So what we do first.
Stephanie also tried to make up for missing her first challenge, but since she didn't like what I'd asked her to do, she just made something up.
Gail wanted me to go to a doggy daycare to help look after other people's dogs, but I am very particular about other dogs that I expose myself to that could have viruses that could potentially harm my animals. So I ended up cleaning up after cats and kittens instead.
It was disappointing that she didn't work with the puppies. They are such wonderful animals to work with. Usually we don't let our volunteers pick and choose, but when they feel their pets are threatened, we do allow them to have the choice.
Coming up, the pushback continues.
I don't really care what Gail thinks. I'm happy, and that's all that matters.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Dog owners Stephanie and Malcolm said they wanted my help. You have to promise me you will do anything I say.
Yep.
But no sooner had I left the house than they quit on me.
I was made to look like the debt was all my fault.
What was being portrayed in terms of our relationship was really, really far off.
I thought they'd come to their senses. The fact that you are making Stephanie be accountable to you means you also recognize that there was a problem. They did their second challenge with no problems. But when Stephanie tried to make up for missing her first challenge, she totally missed the mark.
Coming to the Humane Society is better than going to a privately owned doggy daycare because I helped animals in need.
They need to make lifestyle changes and accomplish all of my challenges in order to earn up to $5,000. But so far, I've given them mixed marks. How was your last challenge?
The homeless shelter one was good, except the getting up at 5 in the morning to get there in time. But it was nice to give back and help other people that are less fortunate and
Yes.
that aren't in such a good situation
Yes.
as us.
And it makes you look at your life and go, lucky. Now, you took over the managing of the money.
Yes.
How is it going?
Pretty good. There's a little bit of work to do the online stuff to sort of schedule things at certain days and make sure there's money in the bank.
What did you discover this week?
In terms of the budget or in terms of the
And
challenges?
living on the jars?
I had to remember to bring gas money before I went to the gas station.
People say that all the time. They're
Yeah.
so used to just reaching for the plastic
Exactly.
that not having the cash is a bugaboo sometimes.
It's gone okay. It's gone okay.
It doesn't matter to me that she didn't bring up my first challenge. I know I did it, and that's all that matters.
So you ready for this week's challenge?
Yes.
Sure.
Relationship rescue challenge. Gonna have to work together to get this challenge done. You have a big backyard, and it looks like crap.
Yep.
So this week's challenge is gonna require that you do the garden. But it's not just about making the garden right, it's about how you guys work together while you're doing the garden. See my nifty little whiteboard?
Uh-huh.
Plan what the garden is going to look like.
Does it have to include flower beds? Because the dogs dig those up.
Interesting you should ask. Your garden has to include a water element,
Okay,
a newly planted tree,
okay,
a walkway of some kind,
okay.
and at least 2 garden beds. But if you have to come up with a way of doing it that minimizes the impact on the dogs, then do that, okay? We'll give you $300 to buy stuff,
Cool.
okay? Shop smart. And here I have some tools for you. Any questions?
No, sounds good.
Do you think so?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I'm not really big on the outdoors because I have a lot of allergies. And I'm not really big on gardening because I don't really get it.
I don't really care what Gail thinks. I don't care what other people think in terms of what my backyard looks like. I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters. We planned our walkway, 2 garden beds, planted tree, and water feature. Our walkway is gonna start from the front of the house, come up the side into the backyard. And then for the 2 gardens, we thought we'd put them in areas the dogs don't go into very often. So one's in one corner of the backyard, the other one's in the other corner of the backyard. And this is the tree that we got from my friend's front garden that she was gonna rip out and throw away anyway. And then the water feature, we're incorporating it into the back garden. It's just a big pot filled with water with a water plant in it.
Coming up, have Stephanie and Malcolm wandered off the path again? This isn't really what I expected in the garden.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Stephanie and Malcolm have $28,000 of debt and not much to show for it, except a couple of overindulged dogs.
How much are they?
I don't know, doesn't matter.
Their spending is starting to jeopardize their family life.
My sister's getting married in January in Costa Rica, and that's about $4,000, which we don't have, but thankfully we have the line of credit for.
They were so upset when I questioned their priorities that they dropped out of the show. When they came back, I wasn't willing to change my tune.
Well, there's no question in my mind that you are the alpha dog of this family.
I may be the person who initiates the spending, but Malcolm is right behind me saying, yes, we need that.
I would rather just kind of say yes and go along.
To earn $5,000 to pay down their debt, they'll have to accomplish all of my challenges. Their final challenge was to work together and follow my instructions while beautifying their doggy-destroyed backyard. This is the side of the house. This is not the garden. I think I know where most of their garden budget went. So they were supposed to do 2 beds, a tree, and a water feature.
I don't really want to put flower beds in my backyard because the dogs just dig them up.
After the show, I think the tree may go because you've got to rake the leaves. They grow up, they grow underneath your property.
And this is the 2nd bed. And the water feature, which really is a glorified dog bowl.
Well, it's been a long 4 weeks. How have you found it?
I think having a plan makes it really easy.
Okay.
And we haven't fought about money all month because we have a plan.
So what's the one thing that you are going to do differently moving forward?
Well, we're going to move away from the jars because they take a lot of space on the counter, but we're going to add a little bit of money in for dog training and our dog food. Put it,
Okay, and where have you gotten that money from?
out of debt repayment.
Okay, so you're reducing the amount you're paying back on your debt.
Yes,
Right,
yes, just by a little bit.
Once again, they've ignored my plans for them. After 4 weeks together, I'm beginning to get a sense of what their priorities are, and it's not paying down their debt. So you've reduced your debt repayment. In your first challenge, Stephanie, you chose not to do the challenge. Subsequently, you did something else.
Yes.
Didn't use the majority of the money in the garden. You put this walkway down the side of the house, which had nothing to do with the backyard. You guys make your own rules, which is fine. It's a great way to live your life if you can get away with it. The thing you're both really good at is backing each other up. And you are to be commended for it because it means you have a really strong relationship. You don't need a relationship rescue. I would have had you debt-free in a year, and then taking $1,000 of that debt repayment and sticking it into savings, reinvesting any tax benefit you got, and when you were ready to retire, you'd have $2.4 million. Nice big sum. Okay?
So I have for you a check for $3,000. Use it to pay down the most expensive debt first, okay?
I often give couples a token gift to acknowledge the sacrifices they're going to have to make to stay on plan. I don't think these guys deserve one. As a symbol of Stephanie's commitment to getting out of debt, she went shopping.
Now, over the last month, I saved up my spending money to buy you something that you've always wanted that we've never been able to afford. To show you that I'm committed to getting out of debt.
Oh, that's awesome. We've got a plan, which is great. And, you know, for Stephanie and I, our whole world has changed for the better.
We want to be able to still do our dog stuff and incorporate that into our life. And if it takes us a year and a half to get out of debt, because that's what keeps us happy together, it's the most important thing to me.
Maybe how we saw things will be different than how Gail saw them, and so what? And we're going to Costa Rica.
With this $3,000 so net. No, I'm just joking.